welcome back to Thursdays on Jekyll with Untitled Nature Center and Camp Jekyll. I'm Corinne Zeeley, the program specialist here at Untitled Nature Center, and today we are talking about turtly awesome sea turtles. And we're going to tell you all about the different Georgia sea turtles that visit the Georgia coast and a little bit about some of the ones that we care for.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to this series of turtly awesome sea turtles. My name is Greg Kosick. I'm the interim program coordinator at Camp Jekyll, and I'm very excited to talk to you all about the different types of sea turtles we have here on the Georgia coast. And we're going to start with our largest sea turtle species, the Leatherback Sea Turtle. They are so large they can get to a ton in weight. That's 2,000 pounds. But they're also considered a deep sea animal because they can dive up to 4,000 feet down to hunt their favorite food, jellyfish. Now the next size down, we have our green sea turtle, and they're iconic because they're seen in a lot of aquariums and even in movies. But the reason they're called a green sea turtle isn't necessarily because of the color of their shell or their skin. It's actually based off of the color of their fat inside their body. They tend to eat a lot of grasses and algae, and that tends to kind of give them that coloration inside. The next species we have here is our most common species here on Jekyll Island. This is the loggerhead sea turtle, and they're called that because they have this large head, but they have these big, strong jaws, which makes their head look really big. But they eat those big, crunchy animals like crabs and whelks and other hard things that they need those strong jaws for. Another species we have is the Hawksbill Sea Turtle. They're one of our smaller species, but they're unfortunately critically endangered because they are actively hunted for this gorgeous shell that's oftentimes used for jewelry and other things like that. So they're very prized and poached, unfortunately. So we're trying our best to protect these animals. The last one we have on the Georgia coast is the smallest sea turtle species, this one right here. This is a Kemp's Ridley. Now they typically don't nest up here in Georgia very often, but they typically nest down in Mexico and in the Caribbean, but they nest in big swarms, thousands at a time, so they can try and protect their babies as best they can from all those predators. So let's go meet some turtles up close and learn a little bit more about them.
So this is one of the loggerhead sea turtles that we care for here at the Untitled Nature Center. This is Nicole. Nicole is about 4 years old, and her nest was actually laid here on Jekyll Island. But she was a straggler hatchling. She was the last one left at the bottom of the nest. Maybe she just couldn't get out over all the other eggshells, or maybe she developed a little more slowly, but basically she didn't make it out with all of her other nest mates. So we brought her in here, and we take really good care of her to make sure she grows up nice and strong till we release her. We are hoping to release Nicole in the spring, and we wait till they're 50 centimeters long at the carapace, or the top of their shell. At that point, we don't think that they'll have any predators. So we're really trying to make sure they get their best shot at surviving to adulthood. So here we have another one of our loggerhead sea turtles. This is Nugget. Nugget is only about 2 years old. Now loggerheads have a pretty particular diet. Greg mentioned earlier their big, strong, powerful jaws. So whenever we can, we do feed them live blue crabs or speckled crabs, or when they're younger, even fiddler crabs to work up their strong muscles. But most of the time, they get a mixture of seafood. So we actually have raw fish and shrimp that we're gonna drop in for Nugget today. And we also have something we make in-house called gel. And it's a mixture of raw seafood we mixed with unflavored Jello, and then some veggies and all kinds of other vitamins to make sure she's getting all of the nutrition that she needs to grow up big and strong. We know a lot about their diet thanks to work that we do with the Georgia Department of Natural Resources and the Georgia Sea Turtle Center. We work with them to make sure we keep our loggerhead sea turtles happy and healthy, and they're growing up strong. These are a protected species, so the Georgia Department of Natural Resources works with us and gives us permits to allow us to care for these turtles and make sure that they're healthy. We actually brought our loggerhead sea turtles outside, not just so you can get a better look at them, but because they're reptiles, the natural sunlight is really, really good for them. It helps them soak up some vitamin D. We also really like to get them out here in some fresh water. Although they live in salt water, the fresh water helps clear off anything that shouldn't be living on their shells or on their skin. Since they're reptiles, they actually come up for air to breathe with the lungs, just like we do. And they are cold-blooded, so the warm sunshine also helps them keep their body the right temperature. The fresh water also helps to keep them a little bit rehydrated from being in all of that salt. Sea turtles face a pretty challenging life. Not only are they a popular prey item for a lot of species when they are young, but they also suffer from a lot of human impacts, such as overfishing, getting caught in fishing line, or in fishing nets. One successful way that people have minimized that risk to sea turtles is from including a TED and other bycatch reduction devices in trawl nets. The TED is a turtle exclusion device that helps turtles slide out of shrimp trawl nets rather than getting caught down in the bottom. To learn more about TEDs, or another kind of TED, go back and check out the Tuesdays on Tybee video with the Burton 4-H Center called Terrapins and TEDs.
All right, so what are some things that we can do to help protect these amazing animals? One of the best things to do is to simply educate friends and family about what you've learned here today. Go out and share what you've learned with those others so they can continue to share and educate as well. Another thing to do is to simply make sure that we clean up after ourselves, especially when you go to the beach or if you're on a boat near the ocean. We don't want to make sure that we're providing anything that could become a hazard to these fantastic animals. The last thing we can do is to simply support organizations that are out there doing the legwork and the research to protect and care for these animals as well. So, thank you all so much for joining us today. We hope to see you soon. Bye.